As a volunteer board member, regardless of the type of nonprofit, it's necessary to take steps to reduce any potential loss or damage that could incur. So whether you're just joining a board or you are a longtime board member, we hope that you'll learn something new today. So I am here with Carrie McDonald with Army Nucio and Associates, who is going to talk to us today about the types of insurance your parent group would want to consider and really, quite frankly, needs to protect yourselves. So Carrie, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here. So can you talk about some of the types of insurance that a typical parent group should have to be fully covered?
Well, first of all, there's no such thing as fully covered in the world of insurance. There's always some sort of exception to the rule. And so it's very important for a group to understand the policies that they purchase and that they understand that they stay within the limits of the policy and don't do activities that are outside the coverage that they have. There is coverage, general liability coverage, which covers them for claims and lawsuits from third parties for multiple different types of things. There's bonding coverage that covers the funds that they raise and protects them from theft and loss and destruction from money that could be stolen. There's directors and officers liability coverage, and that's a bit of a misnomer of a coverage because people think that they need that instead of general liability, but it doesn't cover the same thing. And that covers the directors and officers basically for bad decisions made by the board, acts or omissions that they may make. Accident Medical Plus is a really good coverage to dovetail the general liability policy because it's a no-fault medical insurance, small little policy that people can have for individuals that might be attending events that don't have their own insurance. And the group may not necessarily cause the accident or been negligent, but it does give some protection to people attending their events. The last one that's important is property coverage, and this is only for groups that have property of any value. Oftentimes, groups will buy equipment or property or computers, and they'll gift it to the schools. And oftentimes the schools will not cover it under their own policies, even though the groups think they do. So it's very important that a group understands that the equipment that they purchase for a school, that the school will cover it under their policy, or they should purchase property coverage to cover that equipment or computer equipment, any kind of property that they have that could be lost, stolen, or destroyed. There are some deeper coverages that you can go into for groups that really run some after-school programs and enrichment programs where they're hiring teachers and they have to get into purchasing workers' compensation insurance. So there is a lot more that can be done. And what I try to explain to these groups is that if you're running, an active group that's doing a lot of activities, think of yourself as having to insure yourself like a school does, because you have the same exposures. Even though you're on the school property, you're still a separate legal entity from the school. So you want to have as many insurance coverages that you can afford, because a lot of these groups can't afford them. So I typically say when you can only afford certain ones, go with the general liability coverage. That's statistically more losses arise out of that coverage. Bonding coverage to cover their funds, because it takes a long time to replace the funds that can be stolen, and then go down the level of other types of coverages that they can afford. And they, depending on the group and their activities, they may need some special tailored other types of insurance coverages as well. Or they have to choose not to do certain activities so that they can have a cost operative insurance package for them.
That's great. And I would assume then that also some groups may or may not, for example, have any property to cover, so that one may or may not apply. Is that true?
Absolutely. Yes,
Okay.
you don't want to buy coverage that you don't need either.
Right. Excellent. That's a really good overview. And I think it's super important for these volunteers to realize that how important insurance is. I often take phone calls from people who either don't have insurance or don't have adequate insurance to cover certain issues. And it just breaks my heart because these groups are raising sometimes a lot of money.
Yes.
They're not covered, and that's scary to me. I used to tell people, if your group doesn't have insurance and you're thinking about sitting on the board, um, run.
Yes.
Because if you can't afford insurance, you can't afford to be part of this group. So
No, that I agree wholeheartedly with that statement.
yeah, excellent. Thank you, Carrie, for giving us the rundown on the different types of insurance that a parent group would need. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.